Today we're gonna be performing a taper comb over. My name is Miguel. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna comb his hair down, make sure there's no knots on the hair, and I'm gonna start by setting up the tools that I'm gonna be using. Two combs I'm gonna be using, a brush. We're gonna be using blending shears and cutting shears. And we're also gonna finish off the haircut with the razor. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna, like I said, comb the hair down. Put it in place. Since we're gonna be cutting the sides first, we're not gonna bother wetting the hair or anything. And we'll see how his hair naturally falls. See this collar right here, it just kind of goes down. So what I like to do when I'm gonna do a long hair like this, I start off with my 3.5 metal, which is close to a 2 with the plastic guards. And we're gonna be using the Oster Model 10. Yep, I'm old school, I still got the wire on it. Always oil up your clippers before you start cutting. I always like to start at the back here, and you're gonna be going around the area of the head, creating your first guideline. So this is for debulking right here. And scoping out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just taking some of the bulk out. So when we do start doing the taper, we're gonna see exactly what we're doing. We're riding the parietal bridge. That's what we're riding the clippers from. There's a little bone that's around the whole head. Everybody has it. And like I said, we don't have to be perfect. We just want to debulk it a little bit. But using the parietal bridge to scope out, so you won't leave a harsh line. Now that we debulked a little bit, the first step, we're gonna be using a trimmer. Like I said before, you gotta make sure you oil your tools right before you use them. Otherwise, the trimmer, clippers are just gonna get clogged up. They're gonna start pulling hair, and you don't want that. You don't wanna torture the client when you're doing a haircut. So we're gonna start off with the first initial guideline right below the ear. You don't gotta be perfect, but that's roughly about where we're gonna be at. And this one, you want to make sure you grab all the little hairs on the sides. And be careful with the trimmers. If you haven't 2-0 gap, you could nick your client. Now we're gonna go back, since we have this one in our hands, and to save time, we're just gonna create our second guideline. Since he wants a low taper, we're gonna just take it right to the earlobe right there. We're gonna do the same thing with it on one side, on the other side. So what a lot of people do is that they don't look at where they set up their guide, and then the taper comes out a little crooked from one side. So what we're trying to do is match one side from the other side. And you can always just look at the mirror and see that everything looks kind of even. And it's the same thing on the other side, all right? So we could go two routes. Some people just like to use the trimmer. I wanna go a little bit shorter here. So we're gonna be using a shaver, which is this little thing right here. And we're just gonna go right below what we just did without creating a second line, all right? And we're gonna do that everywhere we just did with the trimmer. So all that's doing is just making it extra bald. And like my boy Eric likes to say, it makes the clients think that the hair's not gonna grow back. So now we're gonna grab our clippers. So we're gonna be doing about 1 inch. Clipper open. Close when the blades are close together, open when it's far apart. So when it's so close, it's gonna cut really, really close to the hair. When you open it up, it's gonna give you a little bit more length. And by playing with the lever, that's how we're gonna create that blend. So we're gonna start off with the, like I said, clipper open, about 1 inch. All right, so then we're gonna close it 1 notch. As you guys can see, this one has a little clicky sound, and it's 5 clicks right there. So we just had it on number 5. We're gonna go 4 and just go below what we just did. But always starting right below the line that we initially started. And as we get close to the line, we scoop out so we won't create another line. You guys are hearing it's cutting. So we close it just 1 more notch and just go below what we just did. And gradually create that blend. Now there is times when you guys are gonna have to use corners, kind of like on the side, especially in this area right here. All right, and then again, we're gonna close it. We're gonna close it just 1 more notch. So you guys see, this should be already be blended out. So we're gonna close it all the way. So now, kind of use the corners a lot more so you won't create another line. Now we might have to detail a little bit of this that we missed. So that just comes with time. You guys just gotta play with the lever. Right now I'm just gonna go halfway and just kind of play with this right here. Take some of the little dark areas. You gotta make sure all your guides are about the same length. Depending on what you're doing, sometimes they might have to be a little bit smaller. But if you're making them smaller, that means all of them are gonna be about the same size. So as you guys can see, there was about an inch and another inch from the other guard, right? So we're gonna do the same thing, but in this one, I'm not gonna go every notch. I'm just gonna go open, middle, and close. That seems to work the best for me. I mean, if you guys feel like you guys need to go through all the notches, you guys do that, but this works for me. I've been doing this now for 11 years. See, the same technique I just did down here, I'm using it right here. So nothing changes, all it changes is just the guard. So now I'm just gonna close it all the way. And again, below from where we started, all the way to just below what we just did. And scooping out at the same time, because you don't wanna create another line. So now we're gonna go to our half guard. And in this one, there's a little trick that I like to do. Some people like to go open, middle, close. I don't do that, but we're gonna be taking care of that little area right there. So I'm gonna start off with the half guard, just halfway open. And I'm just gonna attack that. But instead of just using the whole blade, I'm just gonna use like the corner of the blade, which meaning I'm only gonna cut with some of the teeth to try to blend that in. Why am I doing that? So I won't create another line. And I'm just kind of hitting the little dark spots that I see. Now this guard, you could use it to pinpoint some of the dark areas. Like I see a little darkness right here, so I'm just gonna open it all the way. See if it does, you can't hear it, it's not cutting. Close it just a little bit more. It's not cutting, a little bit more. You guys hear that? I hope the camera picks it up. When we first started, we debulked the whole side of the hair with the 3.5 metal guard. And with the years of experience that I have, I noticed that the 1.5 blends in perfectly to the 3.5 metal. I start off by opening it up. So open guard, 1.5. And again, just scoop out. And you guys are gonna see that magic happen in front of your eyes. Just remember, this took years of practice. So take your time, look at the hair, see how much hair is coming off, and don't get too aggressive. Just attack the little dark area, because all you're trying to do is just blend the 3.5 to the 1.5 here. So you guys see, I already clear up a little bit of the darkness that we had, but I still see a little bit of it. And if you guys are ever in doubt, your mirror never lies to you. So you can always look at your mirror and see how you're doing. You see that? I see this little area right there, the mirror's picking up. So right there, I'm just gonna close it halfways and attack the little area right there. Same on this side. Now we're gonna close it all the way to just finish off the little dark areas. Again, I'm just using like the corners at sometimes because you don't wanna create a line. What we call the barber eye will come in time. You guys just gotta keep at it. It's not gonna be in the first 100 haircuts. It's probably gonna take you 1,000 haircuts, but don't give up on it. So right here, I see a little bit of darkness. So I'm just gonna start off like if I'm doing it all over. So I always start off with the open lever and just kind of hit it a little bit. And if you guys see the darkness disappear, then your mirror doesn't lie to you. You check it out. It looks good to me. So now we're gonna go to the other side. And the same steps that I did in the back, we're gonna do on the side. Nothing changes. The only difference, just like I told you guys before, it's gonna be the area. So your guidelines are gonna be a lot smaller. Let's just say over here we're doing 1 inch, we're gonna do 1/2 inch over here. So again, clipper open. And we're doing it diagonally, but not perfectly. It's almost like slanted a little bit, because the taper will take effect like that. So just imagine lines going that way. All right, and now we're gonna play with the lever a little bit at a time. Remember, start off where the line starts and just a little bit below what you just did, and hit that area a little bit more. Again, we're closing it 1 notch at a time. And as you guys can see, I'm only using the corner of the blade so we won't create another line. And now we're gonna close it all the way. All right. Well, a line is like basically our guideline, right? So we're not gonna go further than that line there. When we didn't have a guard, that's basically our guide. We're not gonna go past that, but we always gonna just hit it right below the initial one. So what we're trying to do is blend this out where it has that seamless look or transition that you don't see a line or any dark spots. So now we're gonna do with the number 1, we're gonna do the same exact thing. Follow that line, but we're gonna create a second line that we're gonna be using. So that's number 1 guard open. See, so now we have a second line. It's hard to see right here because for some reason he doesn't have that much hair, but there's a line there that we just created. We cut top, the side right here. Now we're gonna put this one and the top, we're gonna connect it. By doing that, this is what we're gonna do. See that? Your guide's up here, so we're gonna pull it up and start connecting. Connect it. You don't wanna do this. You're gonna end up messing up your hair. So you wanna pull it out. And if you still have some heaviness right here, we're gonna come back and clean that up. So don't worry too much about that. Pull it out. It's the safest thing. Just pull it out and just keep following your guide. Pull it out. So again, we're gonna just revise the little area right here to see if we miss any hairs. See? Connect. See, the guide's up here and the guide's down here. We're gonna come back and clean this up a little bit because there's always gonna be a little line of demarcation there. So now we're gonna go to the opposite side. And remember what I said about the taper. This is a gentleman's haircut, so we gotta have balance of both sides. So whatever we did on this side, now we're gonna do it on this opposite side. So we'll start off with the front and we're just gonna follow that guide that we created. Some people cut like this, short hair like this. I feel like I have more control like that. If you do have control, you could cut it like this. But this is a trick that I like to use. I trim my client, then I grab the hair, just like so. And if you guys remember, I said to pull out. So pull out. And look at that. We're just connecting the bottom that we already had cut to the top and just joining those two guidelines. Remember, I always pull out. You could always go back and cut more. So try to pull it out because you're trying to create layers. Well, right now, there's a lot of heaviness right here, so there's not really no layers. As you guys can see, that's what I'm trying to show the audience right now, that this area right here still needs to be cut. Whatever we cut right here, and we already cut this area on top, now we're gonna put the two things together. Let's see, here we go. Here, like right here. I couldn't see what I was cutting, but I can see it here now. Comb it down. The hair will tell you where it needs to be cut. Right here is the area where it needs a little attention. Hair, look at that, it seems heavy, and now you guys are really gonna see it when I pick it up. So like right here, see that? See that? Supposed to be about even, not gonna be perfect. So this is one of the things that I see that a lot of barbers skip. Now that they cut it going that way, they feel like the hair is nice and even, when in reality, they need to cross-check. Cross-checking is picking up the hair from the top and matching it. As you can see right here, like there's little areas where it needs attention, especially right here in the front. It's not gonna be a lot. Cross-checking is just making sure that your haircut is cut evenly. Now, what we wanna do is blow dry the hair, and what I like to do, the swirl. So if the swirl is like this, you're gonna move the blow dryer there so it could sit on its natural form. Now we're gonna brush the hair like he's gonna wear it. So this is why it's important to also blow dry the hair. Like right here, your hair is telling you that it needs to be cut right there. So if I pick it up, you guys see that unevenness right there? I'm cutting that off. See that? Now we're just gonna clean up this area. You could either close your clipper and just attack it there, or open it up and attack it. I'm gonna open it up just to give myself a little bit of room, just in case I make a mistake. If it was an adult, I would just close it and do it. But since it's a little kid, sometimes they move, so you want a little room for error. Then you're gonna pick it up, and when your hair starts folding, that's where you're gonna cut. Another pro tip right here: if you feel like you don't have a good balance with your comb, make sure you're touching the head and just kind of hold on to your comb as you're touching the head. Small amount of hair, just to make this blend come together. Even somebody that was semi-blind could see that this doesn't belong right there. So that's what I'm trying to attack. The areas that they just seem out of place. So you pick it up, and then you see that hair that's coming out extra, that didn't supposed to be there. See that? And it's just the hair that comes out that are extra. There's still some little spots that instead of cutting a blunt line with this one, since it has teeth, it's not gonna cut every single hair like the clipper or the other shears. It's gonna give that blending thing. So I'm just gonna go around little areas that I see. So we're just gonna pick it up, and we're just gonna go up. And I can't do this slow because what we're doing is just cleaning up a lot of the little hairs that I wasn't able to get with the clipper over comb. Just giving it a little bit more detail on the blend. Instead of leaving a blunt line with the blending shears, that blunt line is gonna disappear and make it seem like it blends nice and beautiful. All right, we're pretty much done with the haircut. See, like right here, it's a little heavy. So this is what we're gonna do, look. Little areas that we see. So this is the key to making your lines as sharp as possible. First thing, it starts off with your trimmers. Selecting the right tools and gapping your blade to your liking. Some people like to zero gap them, and some people just like it slightly back. Me, personally, I have a heavy hand, so I don't like to zero gap my trimmers, but make them close enough to where they're gonna give you a sharp line and not hurt the client. Brush the hair down. Your comb is an extension of your hands. So you wanna keep this as natural as possible. And instead of just going like this and risk of getting the ear, you pull it with your thumb a little bit. And remember, just keep it natural. Now we're gonna put the ear down. And again, keep it as natural as possible. Tap and go. Always brush your hair towards the line, and if you miss anything, just go back. But at least you have your rough draft right there. Go towards the line. What you do on one side, you gotta do it at the other side. Push the hair down. All right, so we're just gonna tilt it just a little bit, and we're gonna brush his eyebrows so we'll get a nice crispy line. Boom. I also like to double check that my work is fine, and we're gonna use the blow dryer to blow all this hair off. Here in the state of California, neck dusters are illegal, so we're gonna be using a towel with a little bit of powder here. And we're gonna put it all around. So we're just following the line that we already created with the trimmer. Same thing here. I'm just gonna go around the ear. So this is the reason why you shouldn't cut hair high. Cause see, you need a steady hand to be able to do the razor. And remember guys, we're only gonna shave from the neck up. So if the client has a lot of hair on his back, we're not doing that. Leave it in the comments guys if you guys would like to see a video of us teaching you how to properly hold the razor. Right here, we're gonna be using backhand stroke. Make sure all the neck is nice and clean. This is the part that a lot of the kids hate. This is why kids don't come back to the barber. Everybody should be doing this. This stinks a little bit, but it's just like going to the nurse. Once they give you a shot, they gotta put a little bit of alcohol to disinfect that area. I wanna make sure that it goes into the right spot. I mean, some people like to spray it, but what I have seen, sometimes it falls in your eyes, and that stings really, really bad. Today, we're gonna be using this Superior Hold. Not sponsored at all, but if you guys wanna buy some, we do have some here at the shop. It's one of the best gels in the market. We start off in the crown area, because that's the hardest to lay down. Then we go to the front. I comb the hair forward here with the thicker teeth or the most separated ones. Then I grab a line and I push it forward, or to the side, I mean. Then the other side, down. Go around the swirl here. Facing towards the mirror, just pick this up. Bam. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or so-so? What do you think? Thumbs up. Well, this is our finished product right here. Satan with the taper gentleman's haircut. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and leave it in the comments if you guys have any haircuts that you guys would like to see in the future.